What's up, everybody? Brett Okamoto from ESPN. I am joined today by UFC featherweight Dan Ige, who takes on the Korean Zombie in the main event of UFC Fight Night here in Vegas on June 19th. And before we get into talk about the fight, Dan, I got to compliment you about the backyard, dude. I mean, the backyard. I know you live here in Vegas. I don't know where you live in Vegas. I mean, me and you might live. I don't know how far away we live, but your backyard looks kind of like it's set up like mine, but it looks way better in terms of what you got back there. You got a little ice chest, the sauna. I mean, you
Yeah,
got everything you need back there.
yeah. Thank you, man. It's definitely a long time investment. Something I've always wanted was a sauna, my own little recovery zone, ice chest freezer. Yeah, I just recently built it. I got the sauna like not too long ago, about a month ago. The chest freezer I built right after the Gavin fight, but I made everything just so I can have everything at home. Kind of it saves me time, when I want to go recover, like I could just come home and I could be with my son right after. I don't have to go drive an hour, recover, drive back. Like it's just so nice to have everything here in my backyard. Got a gym in the garage, and it's just a start. I love this type of stuff. I always love like just biohacking and little things to like make myself a little bit better. And yeah, the sauna and the ice is a game changer.
Well, we all had to adapt to the COVID times, right? But some of us are more fortunate than others in that it seems like you're pretty handy. I can't build anything, but you were able to build that, put up that wood around the ice. It looks nice, man. Were you just like self-taught, or where did your handy skills come from?
That was it was probably my first field of work. When I was working back in Hawaii, I was working in construction. I kind of did everything, did a little carpentry stuff, masonry, concrete work, painting. I kind of did everything. I was never like licensed in anything, but I was just a laborer and kind of learn, pick up little tools of the trade as you go. And I guess that's where some of the work ethic came into play. But yeah, it's nice to have those skills when you're at home and
Yeah.
just got to do stuff.
And when you're a father, right? I mean, it's nice to be a handy when you got a kiddos in the house, and now you got one. You got your first son, right?
Yeah.
Son?
Yeah. Done. Bam. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely motivating. Like I feel like I have to do stuff like that now. I have to do dad stuff. I gotta do like man stuff, bust out the drill, the hammer, and
Yeah.
just do like that, or else I'm not a dad. I feel like.
I was so he was born when? What month?
He was born on Easter in April, so he makes 2 months this Friday. It's
Okay.
crazy.
And how's that been
Insane.
going? Obviously a big change in life. You know what's been the biggest differences for you?
Yeah, big change for sure. It's been pretty nuts, man. Like, I mean, he was born right into fight camp. Like, literally, I found out about the fight maybe 2 days before he was born, and I was talking to Sean Shelby on the phone. I was telling him, I was like, man, I'm about to have a kid any day. Like, my life's gonna be crazy. He's like, yeah, yeah, yes, it is. But
Yeah.
like that being said, like no one's gonna stop and wait for me. The title picture, the goals, nothing's gonna sit and stop and wait for me in my time. So if anything, like I just kind of I had to learn how to adapt real fast and like create a structure that works for me. And that's what I was able to do. I took the first few weeks of, I guess, camp, when the contracts get signed, to like find a structure. And I found a structure immediately. And I feel like I'm in a great place. Obviously, having a son is external motivation. I've never been like an externally motivated, driven guy. I've always kind of had that internal fire, but I feel like I really, man, I just the structure in my life right now is so on point that everything is falling into place at the right time. And this is it's a perfect fight for me at the perfect time. And I can't be more pumped and motivated and driven to go out there and get a nice victory.
It's cool to hear you say that it's the perfect time because it sounded like almost Sean had to talk you into it a little bit because I remember after you beat Gavin, that was March,
Yeah.
and you were like, I'm going to take a little bit of time. I'm not going to take a fight before my son's born, and then you agreed to a fight 2 days before he was born, huh? So
Yeah.
was it something that you had to come around on, like that you didn't want to take the fight at first?
No, I mean, listen, like I have a goal. My goal is to become a champion, and like I won't let anything stop me from that. And it wasn't a matter of him convincing me. Like I knew it's what I had to do. It's like an opportunity like this doesn't just come around every day. It's the fight I've been asking for. It's the perfect fight to put me into the top five. It's the perfect fight that'll established me as a contender. And it was like, hey, Sean, give me 5 minutes. I got to convince my wife because she's the real trooper. Like, she's the one that's going to have to make more sacrifices than I am at this point. Like, I'm so lucky and grateful to have her, like, to have her raise my son and have my mom in town helping out. Like, I just had to get everything kind of structured and organized for me to endure training camp and be my optimal self. It's been difficult, but at the same time, it's been like, it's a good difficulty. And it's elevated me to a new level to where, like, I've always thought I was a professional, but now it's like, now I know I'm a professional because I don't know, the structure, man. It's I'm living and I'm acting and I'm treating myself like a champion, like as if I was a champion. What would I do if I had all the financials and everything into place? What would I do to make myself better? That's what I'm doing.
And like you said, I'm sure part of it was the fact that you can't ask for this fight for as long as you have. And then when it finally materializes, to say, oh, the timing's not right. I mean, when's the first time you really thought that, like, Zombie's the fight I want? How long has that been since you wanted this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I remember our first interview. I don't even remember what fight. It might have been the Kevin Aguilar or Mersad. It might have been the Kevin Aguilar, but it's like, dude, I just beat Kevin Aguilar and now I'm asking for the Zombie. It wasn't really realistic. You know, I didn't go out there and I didn't beat anyone established. And now I feel like I've done that. I've earned the right. And here we are, a few weeks away from the fight. It's the biggest fight of my career. And this is going to be the one that's going to propel me. It's going to propel me into that top 5. You know, I know Brian Ortega said something. The only guys at the top is me, Max, and Volk. Like, that motivates me. That fires me up. Like, because I want to be up there. I want to be one of those names. And my goal is to be a champion, and everything in my career has led to this moment. Losing in my debut, going on a 6-fight win streak, losing to Calvin Kattar, taking some time off to really develop and grow as a fighter. Like, I'm the best self, the best Dan Ige there is right now. And I really can't wait to go out there and show it. You know, I'm talking about it right now, but I want to go out there and prove it and show it.
Mm-hmm. Does this feel similar? Everything that you're saying right now, does it feel similar to how you felt going into the Calvin Kattar fight, the main event, guy who was ranked high? Like, you do seem more excited about this one for whatever reason, but is it similar?
It's similar in the fact, it's not similar. It's similar in the fact that we're in the main event. It's 5 rounds, but you know, I took so much out of that fight, like the confidence alone, like I'm so much more confident now. Like, then I had to be confident because here I am. I signed a contract to fight a guy. I have to be confident. I have to go out there and believe I can win, which I did. I believed I could win. But going through 5 rounds, the pace, everything, that's all knowledge I've gained. Like, I didn't know if I could. When I got the offer to fight Calvin Kattar, it was like a 4-week offer, and it was an opportunity I couldn't turn down. Like, I had to do it. I was in the right place at the right time, and I was the guy that said yes, and he was the guy that said yes. We both had the same preparation, but there's a little like worry, like, can I go 5 rounds? Can I push myself? And I didn't know because I've never done it, but I did it. And I went 5 rounds with a beast. You know, Calvin Kattar's a beast, and like, this guy doesn't back down. Like, he took a beating from Max Holloway, but there was never a point in the fight where he quit or gave up. Like, he's a beast and he's durable. And for me to, like, go 5 rounds with someone like that, like, even in that 5th round where I knew I was losing, I knew I was already going to be better from it. Like, I knew just the confidence alone, like, I can push harder when I need to push harder. Now I have full preparation, and I'm on fire. I'm a beast. I feel it. I feel good. I feel mentally strong. I feel physically strong, spiritually strong. I'm grounded. I'm connected to my family. I'm fired up. I'm pumped up. I'm motivated. And there's a guy in the way named the Korean Zombie. And, you know, he's had a few shots at this. This is, for him, this may be his last shot. So I'm sure he's going to be pumped up and motivated to take me out too. He's not going to let just some kid coming up the rankings come and take it away from him easy. I'm taking all that into consideration. I'm the most motivated, fired up I've ever been, and I feel great. And I'm ready to go out there and make a big statement and make a big splash in the featherweight division and prove that I am a contender. I'm not just here talking it, saying I'm going to be this, be that. I'm going to go out there and prove it, and I will show the world and I'll show everyone what I'm capable of.
I got a few more questions for you about Zombie, but can you talk a little bit more about just that little nagging bit of lack of confidence? And it doesn't even sound like necessarily as lack of confidence, because like you said, you signed the contract against Kattar. Once you sign a contract, you have to be confident that you can win that fight. Otherwise, why are you signing the contract? But when you have that little bit of nagging sort of, can I do this, or am I good enough, or et cetera, like, how did it impact really you? Like, do you feel it in the locker room? Do you feel it like in the fight? Like, are you in kind of your head? Like what, how do you kind of feel it like on the actual fight?
No, I wouldn't say like it took away from my performance. It's just you always have what ifs, like, man, or what could be, or this and that. And like, I was confident because here I am on a 6-fight winning streak going into that fight. Like, I was confident. All the momentum was with me. It was riding with me. So like, I was just riding the momentum. There was nothing like, I was confident in that sense that I was on a hot streak and I wanted to keep it going. But I was, the little false confidence was like, can I do this? Will I do this? Like, I didn't know until I actually did it. And now I know. And like, dude, I've fought everywhere. I fought in, starting fighting in Hawaii, flying from Hawaii, fighting California, to fighting in Florida, fighting in Baltimore, to fighting in London, to fighting in Abu Dhabi at 7 a.m. in the morning, like waking up and fighting. Like, it's just like all this experiences I've carried with me to make me into the fighter I am. To finally I got to fight at the Apex, two blocks down from the house, literally like 2 exits down from where I live. Like, I don't know, man. I feel great, and I can't wait to go drive down the street and get another dub.
Yeah. What do you make of Zombie? And particularly, you said that this might be his last chance. I mean, what can you say about the guy's career, what he's shown, where his ceiling might be? I mean, how do you kind of assess his overall game, and then also kind of expand on where you think he's at in his career?
Yeah, I guess, I mean, it's not right for me to say it's his last chance, because like, that's not my decision. That's not my I'm not the creator here. But in the sense, like, he's been given multiple shots. He's been a guy. Korean Zombie's a legend. Don't get me wrong. I respect him so much. I'm a huge Korean Zombie fan. I was watching this guy when he was fighting coming up. He KO'd Mark Hominick, and then here he is fighting Jose Aldo for the title, doing good in the fight before he dislocates the shoulder. Then he goes on a layoff, comes back, and then takes out a couple. He had an incredible fight with Yair. In my opinion, was winning the fight till he got knocked out in the very last second of the fight, like in a 5-round war. And then he comes back and, has an incredible victory against Frankie Edgar, a former champion, and then goes out there and has another 5-round war with Brian Ortega, who's now fighting for the title. Like, dude, I mean, he's fought so many good guys. Dustin Poirier, like, this guy's fought everyone. He's fought the who's. And I'm just excited to face someone like that. It's one of those like fights. It's like, when your idols become your rivals, or I wouldn't call it a rival, but it's like, he's a guy that I've looked up to. But when we get in that cage, like, I'm not looking at the zombie. It's just literally, he's a body in there. And I just get into a different zone, man. And I can't give him that respect and like put him on that high horse that he's the Korean Zombie. Cause at the end of the day, he's another human. And, he's capable, but I'm capable too. And he's just in the way of my success.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you seem like you're getting a little emotional here, just talking about this fight.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an emotional guy, and I'm a passionate guy. Like, there's nothing more I want than to become a champion. And like, a lot of people doubt that. A lot of people doubt that I have that potential, but I know for a fact I have the potential. And like, so it does get me fired up, does get me emotional, it does get me passionate talking about it, because it's all I ever really set out to do when I started this sport. And I mean, more so now than ever, because I'm putting all my resources into making myself better. And it's just, man, I I want to prove to myself. I don't care about proving to other people. Like, of course, I want to prove to the doubters like that I'm going to go out there and I can be a champion because I know I have that ability and the desire, the burning desire. Like the burning desire is there from day one. You talk about burning desire. Like this is everything I've felt. I feel it like in my veins. Like I have the ability, but like I don't get the credit or the praise because people only see the fight. They don't see the life. They don't see the daily sacrifice. They don't see, I want to be spending time with my son, but no, I signed a contract to fight 2 days before he's born. And now I have to sacrifice time away from him every single day in the gym. My wife has to go through more hell, going through sleepless nights, but I have to be the selfish one that like, I need my sleep because I need to recover and I need to go out there because I have a guy that's he's going to try to knock me out. He's going to try to knock me out. He's going to try to take away from your life. He's going to try to take away from my life. He's going to try to take away from my son's life. So yeah, I'm fired up. I'm passionate because there's a guy out there training to beat me and he's in the road. He's a little stubble in the road on the little rock in my shoe, trying to get to the mountaintop that, there's just, I don't know. He's not going to beat me. He's not going to beat me. That's all I have to say.
I love it, man. I love it. And I love the openness and of course, you know, that the addition of course your first child and the effect that it has on you going through a camp. It's awesome. And you're able to articulate it well. I want to ask you, last thing about Zombie is that you went through his career. And what sticks out to me, at least, is that, like you mentioned, I mean, this guy, I think even guys who are incredibly talented and have a lot of success, you had to have certain things go your way to become a champion, right? And he was like right there a couple of times. Like you mentioned, he ran into Jose Aldo, who's like just at the top of his game, you know, and then he injured himself in that fight. And then he had to take that military time off. And then he did get knocked out by that one elbow in the very final second of a fight that could have catapulted him to title contention. The one fight that doesn't make sense sort of in Zombie's career is his last one, I think, because as much as it was a competitive fight, I don't think anybody foresaw Brian Ortega going out there and beating him in the manner in which he did, especially on the feet. And Zombie just looks kind of lost. What did you make of his last performance? And is there anything you can take from that when you're getting ready to fight the guy?
Yeah. You know, even I picked the Zombie to win that fight. I didn't, it's not that I doubted Ortega. I just kind of, you know, I took his layoff into consideration and kind of took Zombie's like hungerness going into that fight and coming off the Frankie fight. Like I just felt like Zombie was going to win that fight. And, you know, Ortega made really good adjustments in that fight. He knew, you know, his time off was his benefit. Like his time off was his time to grow and work on things that no one's ever seen before. So it was almost like it's like a moment of surprise. He catch Zombie by surprise, and he hurt him in that fight. And once he hurt him, Zombie never really recovered. So I don't really. It was a weird fight, but I don't let that take away from him or his performance or what he's capable of, because that's one fight, you know. And he got hurt. He got hurt with an elbow in that fight and got hurt with a punch in that fight. It was never really the same. And so he was always a step behind. And I don't know, man. It's like you could judge a guy off of one fight and say, oh, he's going downhill now. But it's not always the case. I've lost fights before, but it's never the fact that, oh, I'm going downhill. It's you know, I really don't put too much emphasis into that because, you know, I want people to think that about me. Like you watch any of my fights, like you watch my fight against Julio Arce, you watch my fights against Calvin Kattar or Edson Barboza, and you try to, if I'm another camp and I'm looking at that, they try to take little things from that, but like, oh, look, he drops his, oh, look, he gets caught with this, like little things to kind of boost their own confidence, like where I don't really need that. Like I don't judge someone off one fight. You know, I look at his whole career as a span. I see the little habits he has. You know, you try to capitalize on habits, but every fight's different. I'm different every single fight. If I'm the same person from my last fight till now, like I don't know, maybe that means I'm not growing. And that means if I'm not growing, I shouldn't be in the sport. So I think he has Zombie's a smart guy. You know, I've watched his career. I watched his growth. I see his interviews. Like I see how he talks, see how he articulates things. He's a smart guy. He's not stupid. He's not a I'm the zombie. I'm gonna go brawl because I'm stupid. Like, he's smart and he sets traps. So I don't take away from his performance from a loss against Brian Ortega, who's one of the best in the world, who's fighting for the title. Like, he lost to one of the best guys. There's nothing you can't, you can't take away from his career, can't take away from his performance. So I don't know, man. I'm expecting the best Korean Zombie there is, the best Chan Sung Jung. I feel like he's if he loses to me, he really, like I said, it's not my call, but it kind of is his last chance. That's the reality.
Well, I know obviously your full focus is on Zombie. I mean, that's very, very evident. But of course, we got to ask you, where do you think this sets up? And your division is I wouldn't say it's in a weird spot, but Max Holloway was kind of already sitting there, sort of waiting for a title shot. Now he's sort of putting that on the line against Yair, fighting in July. And then we still don't have a date quite yet about on Volkanovski and Ortega. Kind of, how do you see this playing out, and what does a win against Zombie, where does that place you in featherweight?
It honestly puts me in the perfect place at the perfect time. You have, Max and Yair fighting in July, and then Volkanovski and Ortega fight. Like you said, I don't know when they're fighting, perhaps September, but I'm the first one up. I'm the first one that has to go out there and put out. I'm the first one that has to go out there and put on a great performance and make a statement for all the other guys. All the other guys that have fights coming up, they're going to see my fight first, because this is the fight that's going to establish a future contender for sure. I don't see myself going backwards with the win, over the Korean Zombie. I see myself, if anything, catapulting to a #1 contender fight or a title shot in itself. I respect all the other guys in there. I respect Max so much. I trained with Max as an amateur. He's cornered me a lot of fights. He's cornered me in some of my pro fights when I didn't have any corners. He was out there. He cornered me in Baltimore when I was 2-0 or 2-1, and he cornered me. Like, he's taught me stuff. I trained with him when he was 4-0, just getting into the UFC, and now, like, that's so cool. You got two of the best guys in the world, both from Hawaii. What a better, way to represent our state than you have two guys from a little tiny island in the Pacific, at the top of the division. So, man, it's a good time right now. Things are finally kind of coming together, and there's activity in the division. So I think it's, before it was kind of stagnant. No one was fighting, this and that. Now everyone's lined up, everyone's fighting, but all I can do is be focused on myself and be focused on winning and ready for opportunity.
June 19th, man. Dan Ige fights Korean Zombie. Dan, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for the insight. Thank you for the look at your sick backyard, and we appreciate you, especially taking time, man, when the kiddos inside, man. So thank you for the time.
Thank you, brother. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I'm sure we'll talk after the fight, but yeah, it's a good time. I'm pumped. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.